Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss the 8th chapter of class 10th history, Forward Bloc and Indian National Army. As per the reduced syllabus, you have to study 3 important topics from this chapter. They are objectives of Forward Bloc, objectives of Indian National Army, and the contributions of Subhash Chandra Bose. In the previous chapter, in the chapter of Quit India movement, we studied that after the suppression of Quit India movement, there was hardly any important nationalist movement were there in India. From 1942 to 1947, the nationalist movement was almost passive in India. But beyond the borders of India, the freedom movement was intensified. It was under the leadership of Subhash Chandra Bose, and the freedom movement was led mainly in Southeast Asia under the leadership of Subhash Chandra Bose and Indian National Army. Before moving to the main topics of this chapter, Forward Bloc and Indian National Army, we have to learn something about Subhash Chandra Bose. Subhash Chandra Bose, also known as Netaji, was one of the greatest freedom fighters India ever produced. He fought against Britain with the help of the enemies of Britain like Japan and Germany. The activities of Indian National Army was intensified during the Second World War. Subhash Chandra Bose understood that the enemies of Britain will be the friends of India, so he made alliance with Japan and Germany, who were fighting against British during the Second World War. So with the support of these two countries, Japan and Germany, he reorganized Indian National Army and fought bravely against British. Subhash Chandra Bose was a man of action with the practical principles. He supported revolutionary methods. He could not agree with Gandhian principles and revolutionary methods for the attainment of Swaraj. Many of the principles of Mahatma Gandhi were criticized by Subhash Chandra Bose because he was a man of action and he was a man of practical principles. Now, the next topic is Forward Bloc. Forward Bloc was a left-wing political party formed within the Indian National Congress by Subhash Chandra Bose on 3rd May 1939. In the previous chapter, we studied that a left wing began to develop in Indian National Congress from 1934. That later became the Congress Socialist Party. Subhash Chandra Bose was also attracted towards the left principles or socialist principles. Then he formed a political party. Remember, Forward Bloc was a political party formed within the Indian National Congress by Subhash Chandra Bose on 3rd May 1939. For the formation of this political party, there were many reasons. The main reason for the formation of Forward Bloc was the rift with Mahatma Gandhi. I already told you, many of the principles of Mahatma Gandhi were criticized by Subhash Chandra Bose. In the year 1939, at the Haripura session of Congress, Subhash Chandra Bose was elected as the president of Congress unanimously, and in the next year, in 1939, at the Tripuri session of Congress, he stood for the president election and won too against the wishes of Mahatma Gandhi. It was followed by clashes within the Congress between Subhash Chandra Bose and the supporters of Mahatma Gandhi. They were called the Gandhi wing. So it was very difficult for Subhash Chandra Bose to lead Indian National Congress smoothly, so he resigned the presidentship and formed the political party Forward Bloc. The objectives of Forward Bloc. Our main topic, the objectives of Forward Bloc. The first objective or the immediate objective of the Forward Bloc was liberation of India with the support of workers, peasants, youth and other organizations. That was the immediate objective, attaining independence of India with the support of working class people, peasants, youngsters and other organizations. Then, after attaining independence, the Forward Bloc would work for the establishment of a socialist state through the following methods. So, the next objectives of Forward Bloc after the attainment of freedom is to make India a socialist state. You know what is a socialist state? A state where the factors of production like land, labor, capital, organization, etc. are managed by the people, not by an individual or not by the government. So, Subhash Chandra Bose wanted to make India a socialist state. The other objectives of Forward Bloc were reorganization of agriculture and industry on socialist lines. In agricultural sector and industrial sector, there were exploitation. So Subhash Chandra Bose wanted to remove exploitation in agricultural sector and industrial sector. The next objective is abolition of Zamindari system. Before independence, major portion of agricultural land in India was owned by landlords called zamindars. The poor peasants were living in India at the mercy of these zamindars. There was exploitation too. So Subhash Chandra Bose and Forward Bloc wanted to abolish zamindari system in India. The last objective was introduction of a new monetary and credit system. The peasants and farmers were exploited by private money lenders. So Forward Bloc wanted to reorganize or introduce a new monetary and credit system where the farmers may get loan at cheaper rates of interest. So here 4 objectives are there for Forward Bloc. You have to remember These four objectives, if it is asked for the examination, you have to write it point wise. Once again, the immediate objective, liberation of India with the support of workers, peasants, youth and other organization. The second one is reorganization of agriculture and industry on socialist lines. Third, abolition of zamindari system. And fourth one, introduction of a new monetary and credit system. The next topic is Indian National Army and its objectives. The Indian National Army was an armed force formed by Indian nationalist and Imperial Japan in 1943 in Southeast Asia during the Second World War. It was founded by Mohan Singh, an Indian officer in the British Indian Army. This army was reorganized by Subhash Chandra Bose. Once Subhash Chandra Bose took the leadership of Indian National Army, the number of members increased. They were supported by Japan and Germany. In August 1943, Subhash Chandra Bose took the charge of Indian National Army and became the Supreme Commander of INA. He set up the headquarters of INA in Yangon and Singapore and reorganized Indian National Army. We studied that Subhash Chandra Bose was a man of practical principles. He was an efficient leader. He motivated the members of Indian National Army, provided them with a systematic training, and an army well equipped was formed in Southeast Asia. Now we have to study the objectives of Indian National Army. There are four main objectives for INA. The first one is to organize an armed revolution and to fight the British with the modern arms. This army, the Indian National Army, was organized in the foreign soil. Since it was not possible to organize an armed revolution in India, he organized the Indians in Southeast Asia, and the leaders of Indian National Army got many Indian prisoners of war from the Japanese forces. So the number of members in the army increased. They were trained well and they planned to organize an armed revolution and to fight the British with the modern arms. Second one, to organize a provisional government of free India in order to mobilize all the forces effectively. A provisional government means a temporary government. This temporary government's duty is to mobilize the forces, collect resources, and provide leadership to the Indian National Army and its activities. The third one, total mobilization of Indian manpower and money for a total war. The Indian National Army was an army different from other armies. All its resources, all its equipments, vehicles, arms, ammunition, everything provided by other countries. So the third objective of INA was total mobilization of Indian manpower and money for a total war. The last one is, the motto of INA was unity, faith and sacrifice. These are the four major objectives of INA. Once again, to organize an armed revolution and to fight the British with the modern arms, to organize a provisional government of free India in order to mobilize all the forces effectively. Third, total mobilization of Indian manpower and money for a total war. And the last one, the motto of INA: unity, faith, and sacrifice. The last topic is contributions of Subhash Chandra Bose. Many contributions are there, at least 4 points you have to, by heart, you have to learn. The first contribution of Subhash Chandra Bose: he was instrumental in the formation of Forward Bloc. Forward Bloc was a political party formed by Subhash Chandra Bose, and this is his first contribution. Second one, he led freedom struggle outside India. Subhash Chandra Bose took the leadership of Indian National Army with the support of Japanese forces. It was marching towards India. It reached the borders of India, and some portions of India were brought under the control of Indian National Army. The third contribution, he set up a provisional government of free India in Singapore. A provisional government was organized by Subhash Chandra Bose. Its headquarters was in Singapore. Fourth contribution, Subhash Chandra Bose reorganized Indian National Army, and it set an inspiring example of patriotism. It inspired many youngsters in India. Ultimately, this caused for the attainment of independence. The fifth point, Subhash Chandra Bose gave the call to his soldiers: give me blood and I shall give you freedom. So these were the points you have to remember under the heading contributions of Subhash Chandra Bose. This is the end of the chapter. The number of questions are very less. Later you will get the answers of the short questions given in the exercise. Thank you.